something I've always wanted to ask. What was it Hrimthur whispered to you?
Who?
Hrimthur, the son of Thormur, the stonemason, who disguised himself and built Asgard's wall.
Hold. I am something large.
Freya, can't you remember anything about what Hrimthur the stonemason's son said to you after building Asgard's wall?
Hold! What is that?
That must be Tyr's
Win
helmet.
mines, not wars.
Tyr understood the greatest fight of them all was the battle for people's hearts and minds. Too bad Tyr has no interest in doing either these days. Brother, you ever think of cooking meat with those blades of yours?
No. They would foul the meat.
Oh, because of the magic on them?
The blood.
Ah, yes. Carry on then. Watch out! Suspect that's all of them.
These were coal raiders. Infamous for...
Eating wolves. Atreus and I rescued ours from such an encampment.
That was... kind of you. The coal raiders have been a blight on this land. The way they've abused its creatures. Perhaps we should do something about them.
Perhaps.
Up to you, brother. If the Norns know the future, no doubt they'll expect us to show up a bit late. Freya, how was Sifrin when you saw her last?
She's still incorporeal, ever since Kratos set her free of her corrupted form. But she hasn't let that stop her from helping any way she can. The truth is, I owe her more than I can repay.
I doubt she'd see it that way. When we freed her, she could speak of little else but her reverence for you. Seeing you yourself again would surely be payment enough. Freya, can't you remember anything about what Hrimthur the stonemason's son said to you after building Asgard's wall?
Oh, yes. One of the many occasions Odin saw fit to involve me in a wager without my consent. I wish I could say that was the worst of his husbandly habits.
Hold that thought. I think I hear something sizable.
Better drop this.
You're on fire, Kratos!
The Alpha!
It will pass!
Incoming fire back here! Enemies on the left!
Watch the fire! That is all of them. They still whine.
Poor things. They can smell more danger.
The wolves fear that I can no longer hurt them.
The horrors of our past can be inextricable from the present. You have to understand that.
Is that a frost troll? He won't be happy to see us. Good show! Freya, you mentioned that Fimbulwinter had worn down some of Odin's curses, but you still needed help. Was it Sigrun who helped you recover your warrior spirit?
Is that how Odin liked to refer to the curse that kept me from defending myself?
Oh, I suppose that is where I heard it.
Would you like to know how that curse really worked? What it did to me? What it cost me to finally break it?
I'm no longer sure that I do.
That's correct.
A nice knife. Shame it's rusted. Now, where have we seen an artifact like that before?
Tyr's vault.
Now, if we could get back to the story of Hrimthur, the stonemason's son. I was hoping to get Freya's version of what happened.
Not now.
Now, if we could get back to the story of Hrimthur, the stonemason's son. I was hoping to get Freya's version of what happened.
There isn't that much to tell. I knew nothing of it at first, surely because Odin didn't expect to lose the bet. A mysterious mason had to build the entire wall in 3 turns of the season.
2! It was 2!
And if he was late, he'd be owed nothing. But if he succeeded, he was promised an audience with the Queen. Or so I learned one day when Odin burst into our bedchambers, raging and half-drunk before noon, telling me to get dressed and go see what the Mason wants. So, off I went, not knowing what had truly been promised or expected. Dagger stashed in my robe for emergency. And this Mason, this giant in disguise.
His name was Hrimthur.
He just smiled to see me. And as you said, he whispered in my ear. He said the Aesir had killed his father, and he needed to know that one day they'd burn for it. I pointed out I was Aesir now too, technically. He gave me a look, as if he somehow knew better and continued. He said he'd built in a structural flaw behind the Asgard Realm Tower.
I knew it! How do we make use of it?
We don't. He said Surtur would know what to do. And if Surtur's approaching Asgard's wall...
Then it is already Ragnarok.
Aye, blast it. I hoped it might have given us another way.
Shame about Tyr's vault. I'll take whatever you manage to salvage from it, though.
Would have been a shame to have left that behind.
I'll heat up the forge. Ooh, a souvenir from foreign lands?
Something your brother said. The Aesir burned him.
Yes. We weren't yet at war, but relations with the Vanir and Aesir had been hostile for ages. Freyr got it into his head that he could improve relations by sharing our magic with them.
Brother, what is it?
The wolves are distracted.
You're on fire, Kratos! It won't pass! Right side, it's going fire!
Enemies on the left!
Left side, incoming fire!
Changing arrows!
Now maybe the wolves will cease their whining. accursed wolves.
I grow tired of your lack of empathy for your own wolves.
It's Demos, isn't it, brother?
I should not have told you, Demos.
You see yourself in these wolves, in their fear.
Let us keep moving. Freya, how did your brother come to be burned by the Aesir?
Well, he was trying to improve relations with them by sharing our magic. Vanir techniques for bountiful harvests, enough to feed their whole population. Getting set on fire was the thanks he got.
It's true. The Aesir were too undisciplined and impatient for the subtlety of Vanir spellcraft.
Enough. We will continue later.
Bloody Draugr holes! We've got to clear out all these undead bastards!
Scalpa!
Do not fire, Kratos! It will pass! Bloody Draugr holes! We've got to clear out all these undead bastards!
The Alpha! The Alpha! The Alpha! The Alpha! The Alpha! The Alpha!
You're on fire, Kratos! It will pass!
The Alpha! The Alpha! The Alpha!
You won't be hearing any more from those Draugr. Freya, I assume it was Sigrun then who helped you retrieve your Valkyrie wings. Were they hidden in the place I guessed?
They were not. But yes, she did. Argued all the while I should let my anger go, but helped me just the same.
Mimir, you may continue. But Freya,
Oh, yes. Well, The Aesir grew all too easily impatient with the subtle agricultural magic Freyr had offered to school them in. So when things went wrong, they blamed their teacher.
So Freyr was a guest when Odin burned him.
Not exactly. Odin didn't mind locking Freyr up. He saw the potential of the magic and wanted to know more than how to improve crop yields. It was a mob of lesser Aesir, bitter and short-sighted, who tied him up and lit him aflame, as punishment for the sabotage they imagined him guilty of.
Hold. We will finish later.
Is that a frozen lightning bolt?
My fight with Thor ended there.
That's where you landed. No wonder there's bits of Tyr's statue all over the lake. There. Where is Sigrun now?
Impossible to say. She's on a mission spanning the realms in search of our lost sisters. Our hope is if she can bring their incorporeal spirits to Vanaheim, we can find a way to restore them to uncorrupted form. An abandoned camp.
Whoever was here left long ago.
What did you find?
A list of provisions needed to prepare a meal.
A recipe? Who left that way out here?
Let's take a look at the ingredients. Perhaps the recipe will lead us to them. Looks like initials. Do they match the ones in that recipe book you found?
I imagine we might find one of those ingredients around here. Oh, lady, I was curious about some of the flora we've encountered on our travels.
And you will remain curious. It's not my job to teach you everything, Mimir.
Look, I was just asking.
And you have been told.
Oh, you can say that again.
Either of you. What more is there to tell of Freya being burned by the Aesir mob?
Well, obviously he survived. In fact, he used the opportunity to escape. But such an affront made war inevitable.
Freyr certainly wasn't the same after that. At least for a while. His carefree ways were replaced with nightmares, paranoia, and lashing out.
Let this wait. Stay alert.
Fire behind you!
Enemy behind you, Kratos! Behind you, look out!
Incoming fire!
Kratos! Their chieftain!
Kratos, left flank!
Behind you, Kratos! Yelpa!
The chieftain. Was he the one who captured the wolves before you freed them?
I do not know.
Regardless, they should draw some comfort from his death.
They're still scared.
Not of the raiders. Do not be afraid. You are safe. Good. Good boys.
Girls.
Good girls.
Mimir, I never asked how it felt to lose your head.
What would you have me say? That it tickled?
Merely curious.
If you wish to derive some satisfaction from my pain, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Kratos swung swift and fast, didn't you, brother? I felt nary a scratch.
Shame.
Freya, you were speaking of your brother after he was burned by the Aesir mob.
Yes. It haunted him for a long time.
Wait! Do you see?
Isn't that the spear from Tyr's statue?
Wish for peace. Be ready for war.
Oh, that's astute of the elves. Tyr never sought war, but he knew he had to be ready for it.
Aye, best be armed than not. Impressive looking weapon, isn't it?
It is big. Freya, you were speaking of your brother after he was burned by the Aesir mob.
It haunted him for a long time. It doesn't excuse what he said at my wedding, but I do understand where his anger came from.